Hello people of the internet, my name is the Enlightened Atheist, and today I'll be talking about socialist democracies, and why they're not scary, and a very, very clear choice for how things should be run. Well, firstly, there seems to be an inbuilt fear of any idea of socialism in the United States, which seems a bit unreasonable to me. But what is socialism? Well, this is a definition by the Oxford Dictionary. A political economic theory of social organisation that advocates the means of production, distribution and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. But that's a bit much to understand, so let's translate it. But it roughly translates to the people have an equal ownership of all things, and that all things should be looked after by the people. Which doesn't seem too bad idea, but let's go through the pros and cons. Firstly, pro, there's no class divide whatsoever. Another pro is people are a lot more equal under the system. Another pro is socialist systems require people to be educated in order for them all to make a decision. And finally, most of these systems care a lot more about the citizens' health than capitalist society, because it's the people themselves that are running and looking after things. However, a con for this is it's a huge financial burden on the state, which means that the government has to be massive to cope with it. The system gives less incentive for people to work hard. If everybody's got the same thing, then why should you work more hard than the person next to you? The system makes people lazy, or not giving them the incentive to work harder. And it's impossible to get rid of all forms of inequality, because we are all human. So some people might be stronger, some people might be cleverer, etc. And I think most of us would agree that this literal form of socialism, communism is the most literal interpretation, does not work, as evidenced by the fall of the USSR and how it's not worked in places like China. However, there is a way of implementing the best bits of socialism into a capitalist society, and this is called a socialist democracy, more specifically in a Nordic model form. So where is this used? It's used Norway, Sweden, the Netherlands, Iceland. Now what is the Nordic model? Well, this is pretty much just a capitalist free market economy with a welfare state built in. So you've got the capitalist and the socialist ideas put together. Now, why is this system so good? Firstly, it has free healthcare, free education, a social safety net, so you'll never go completely bankrupt if you hit some hard times. Although it still promotes entrepreneurship and business. According to the Corruption Perceptions Index, the Nordic countries are ranked among the 12 least corrupt of 176 evaluated countries. There's a high percentage of workers who belong to labour unions, which means that they have a lot more power over employers, which means it's much more difficult to take away workers' rights. The government also employs lots of its citizens to keep up the social safety net and keep everything working, which gives very good job security for the people working there. You'll have a job for life. There are also some more benefits. According to the United Nations, the Nordic countries are some of the happiest in the world. These countries also have a high life expectancy. The Nordic countries are also ranked the highest on perceived freedom to make life choices. So not only are they the happiest, but they also have the most freedom, or at least perceived freedom. The Nordics are also ranked highest on protecting workers' rights. Socialist democracies also provide protection for the most vulnerable individuals and groups in society, which means that the poor and disabled people will get more help, which means, therefore, there are lower poverty rates. Now, can this Nordic system get rid of some of the downsides of socialism itself? Now, let's have a look at all the downsides that I stated before. Firstly, financial burden on the state. No, this one can't be fixed by this, because you need the state to be an integral part in the entire system. on the plus side, you do get more for your money if nobody's trying to make a profit off you. Right, another downside to socialism, the system gives a lesser incentive for people to work hard. Well, this does fix it, because people have the incentives of creating their own business and becoming reasonably wealthy by working hard, just like in a capitalist society. Downsides of socialism, the system makes people lazy, but this Nordic model, I think, gives enough incentive for people to work hard by allowing them to move themselves out of poverty or just increase their personal wealth. However, there will always be lazy people in every system, doesn't matter where you go. And then another downside of socialism, it's impossible to do away with all forms of inequality because we are human and not all the same. This Nordic model kind of fixes that, and it reduces inequality by quite a huge amount. But again, we're all human and we're not all the same. So this is my argument for why a social democracy is the best system. Now, if you disagree with me, feel free to debate me in the comments. However, if you've got this far, please leave me a like. It would be greatly appreciated. And thank you, and good morning, good afternoon, good night, planet Earth. My name is the Enlightened Atheist, signing off.